Hi, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today, what we're talking about are the books I read in March. I only have 3 books to share with you here today, so this should be really quick. And what I'm doing in these videos is every month, at the end of the month, anything that I think you guys might be interested in, things that maybe I reviewed it, I read it, I've been using it, whatever, and I want to share it with you. I'm putting it all, if it's a book, I'm putting it all here. So today, I've only got 3. I didn't do a whole lot of reading in March, not metaphysical reading anyway. I took it easy this month, but I have 3 to share, so let's get started. First up is Tarot Mysticism, the Psychospiritual Technology of the Thoth Tarot by Joe Monteleone. Now, Joe is a YouTuber and a tarot spiritualist, a teacher. Um, he does a lot of things, but I think that the thing that I know him mostly for is his YouTube channel. So if you haven't followed him or looked at any of his videos, you should definitely check them out. They're very educational. I've learned quite a bit from watching his channel, and everything that I've watched has been free. Nothing is behind a paywall or anything. But he does also have classes, which is cool, on his website. And then he released this book. So this is a book on the Thoth Tarot and the mysticism surrounding the Thoth. All of the things that you might want to know about the Thoth and its esotericism and its mysticism is embedded in this book. I have been very interested in Thoth recently, specifically because I wanted to. I've got a couple of Thoth clones, and I wanted to understand them more. I want to use them and understand them more. So I've been, thumbing through some books at metaphysical shops. Nothing was really calling to me. So I requested this one for review from Llewellyn because I know that I do enjoy Joe's videos. And I was hoping that maybe this one would call to me. And it did. I'm very excited about that because I was a little bit worried. But this one it is very academic and educational way that's kind of just easy to follow. If you've ever read 36 Secrets by T. Susan Chang, then I think you'll understand what I mean by academic but easy to follow. It's the same sort of thing where she just kind of unravels things and she gives all of that information, but then she, will circle back and say, oh, you remember when I talked about this? Let's roll that in, let's layer this on here, and then also this is what I think. It's a little bit of a stretch, or something like that, and he sprinkles that in as well. He'll give you sort of layers and then remind you of what we talked about before, bring that in and think about that as we move on into this, and then also here's what I think here and there. And I think people have a right to do that in their own books, you know what I mean, even an academic style book. This quote here by Benabel, on her assessment of the book, I thought was really perfect because it says, he demystifies the Thoth system and illuminates its mysteries. And somehow he does quite well manage to do both. I don't know how, but he manages to demystify and illuminate mystery. So there you go. It says, explore the mysteries of tarot, Kabbalah, numerology, and non duality in a new way. Joe Monteleone, I think is how you say it, takes you beyond the usual divinatory topics and into the realm of mysticism. He presents Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot as a tool for mystical insight through which you can experience the deeper mysteries directly. Joe reveals a life-changing concept that your thoughts and the physical world appear to be separate realms, but they're not. Tarot mysticism guides you through the Thoth Tarot, providing each card's symbolism and connections to Kabbalah, numerology, and the occult philosophy. This book also features illustrations, practical exercises, and historical research to enhance your journey toward enlightenment. With Joe's guidance, you can traverse different levels of consciousness, understand symbolism with higher sophistication, and realize the unity between the universe and yourself. And then here's a quote from Ethany. And there is some more information about Joe if you're interested. Here is the table of contents. You have the exercise list, which tells you what all the exercises are and the pages that they're on, which is right here. So you've got 6 exercises throughout the book, and acknowledgments, the introduction, and then here are the chapters. So you've got the esoteric tarot, which explains to you what all of these things are. What is Kabbalah? What is numerology? How does it apply to mysticism? What are the levels of mysticism that are going to be unlocked in this book and things like that? Then you start with the major arcana. And then you have the court cards, and then it talks about the numbered cards, or what he's calling the small cards. You have some practical application tips, and then why. And then there's a conclusion, some recommended resources, a bibliography, and the thing that I love the most, an index. Some people love a bibliography, some people love a resource list. I love an index. I like to be able to look things up and see what pages everything is on, and look at all of the whatever's wherever it's been, find where it's been mentioned, and read all the things. I love an index. It says every detail in the tarot is an expression of one fundamental teaching. Every card, symbol, correspondence, association, number, letter, every pixel of the card itself, and every subatomic particle under that, and quantum mystery under that, is all without fail an expression of one teaching. This teaching is a singularity. One glimpse and you're done. There's no return. This is the teaching of so many mystical traditions, the unity of all things. What does it mean for something to be esoteric? Esoteric qualifies any subject matter that is meant to be understood by a select few. Most religions have an esoteric or exoteric layer. The esoteric materials deal with a more direct understanding of deeper teachings and the truth, while the exoteric material is offered to a wider audience with less specialization, training, and preparation. This is not to say that what is esoteric is exclusionary. Far from it. Esoteric mysteries are now more accessible than ever before. Rather, that which is esoteric will only be sought after, learned, and integrated by those who have an intense desire for truth. And then it goes on, what is tarot? And how can we use it? Divination, mystical philosophy, the mystical experience of it. And then what are the levels, the mechanical level? How do we use it for divination? How do we use it for mystical philosophy? The subtle and casual level, the mystical level. And that's where this book really digs in, the mystical level. Then it talks specifically about the Thoth deck and Aleister Crowley, of course. And then what is mysticism and how it connects to reading tarot. There's a lot in here about numerology and how that connects to the mysticism of numerology, and how it connects to yourself, how it connects to the Kabbalah, all the kinds of things in here. The paths and the tree of life. It goes through all of that. And so we get to page 73 where we start on the major arcana. And then for the major arcana cards, so there's like an intro into the major arcana, and then it goes through for each card quite a bit of information, and you can see the footnotes down here, which is nice. I love a footnote, an extra explanation. There's a separate section for the court cards. This section on the court cards was really interesting to me because I wasn't aware of the way that Crowley set these up. I think I'd heard a little bit about it, and the way that the king, the knight, and the queen are related, and then how they produce the prince and the princess. But I didn't really understand it that much until I read through this. So this is interesting. And then, so it goes through all of the introduction to all of that and how Crowley set up these court cards. So let's read one of the numbered cards. So you get a little intro to the numbered cards, just like you did with the court cards. It's a little bit less, but still pretty significant. So I wanted to read one of these, just one, so that you could get a feel for how he writes, how he layers things in, spins things through, and kind of pulls the message through from one card to the next, and just get a feel for how he writes. So it says Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords begins our descent into madness, titled Interference by Crowley and shortened force by MacGregor Mathers, as Yetzirah continues to expand reality with its own intellectual fascination with itself. The machinations of mind become more and more elaborate. The Eight is the apex of this semiotic indulgence. As Hod and Yetzirah, it is thought in its own world. The glory of the formative world is getting lost in thought, and that's exactly what this card is about. Okay, so now if you're like, what is Hod? What is Yetzirah? He did explain all of that in previous chapters, so we're just kind of reminding ourselves of that here. But practically, the Eight of Swords is the extreme of the thought world. creating a conceptual prison, getting lost in a labyrinth of meaning and overthinking. This is expressed astrologically with the introduction of Gemini. Gemini's symbol is the twins. This mutable air sign is about dialogue, thought, detail, chatter, and meaning. It is associated with the Lover's card, a glyph of the universe coming into being through the engine of division. Both these cards' Kabbalistic and astrological attributes reflect on ongoing fractal divisions of the universe to create more and more parts, and thus more and more information between things within the whole. This first decan of Gemini is ruled by Jupiter, where it wants to see things from the whole. It wants to expand through generalization, summarization, and seeing the whole picture. Gemini is the opposite, preferring instead to indulge in the details of the parts. Indeed, Jupiter is in its fall here. Another interpretation of this pairing is that Jupiter accelerates the particularization and information exchange of Gemini to the extreme, causing confusion and overwhelm. However you interpret it, progress is impeded by distraction and arbitrary details. In the Thoth deck, this impediment is symbolized by two vertical long swords crossed by six shorter swords of varying designs. This is one of the most relatable cards in the deck for many querents. It is a card of overthinking and getting in your own way. It signifies too much attention to detail at the expense of the whole project. There is little persistence in the face of arbitrary obstacles in the querent's path. If ill dignified, the distractions are minor and may be easier to overcome, but grounding is still necessary. So that's kind of what you get for the explanation of one of the minors, one of the numerological cards or the small cards. In the back, there's more about using the cards and ways to read. So, practical application is the name of the chapter. So, this practical application chapter is about using the cards and which ways to layer, like where to start, which layer of mysticism to start with, which layer to put in the middle, which layer to end with, to enable to be able to get a really solid reading. And then there's a conclusion, and that's the book. I'm really glad that I read this all the way through once. I didn't catch everything, of course, in the first go through, but I think I will be, now that I am ready to circle back and start again, maybe with the Thoth deck in hand. um, I will understand more because I read it through once and I know where to find things, and I kind of know his process of explaining things and how it's going to unravel. So I like this. I'm really excited to have it as my Thoth reference on my bookshelf. And if you're interested, I will put a link in the description box below where you can pick one up for yourself. This is published by Llewellyn. The Year of Letting Go is a book that I have been keeping sort of with my, I don't know, with my like daily readings. And I haven't been reading it every day, but in a time when I feel like I need to release something or someone or some sort of relationship is really bugging me, I will read something from this. And I've just been opening it up and reading whatever day I land on. But you could do it in a bibliomantic way where you just open it up to a page that calls to you, or you could read from beginning to end if you were particularly trying to specifically let go of a relationship. Maybe you want to start wherever you pick it up. Like if you pick it up on April 1st, you start April 1st and read through every day from there on. I think that there are different ways you can use this, but this is specifically for finding, raising your vibration as you're releasing a relationship that's not serving you. So let me just read you the jacket. It says it's so easy to find yourself devoted to a relationship that falls short of what you hoped for because you have the innate belief that you are capable of loving someone enough to make them love you back. You believe that if you try just a little bit harder, this person will meet you in the middle of that effort. You believe that if you fight a little harder, this person will see the value that you bring into their life, but that's not how it's supposed to work. Love, whether familial, romantic, or platonic, shouldn't cause you to compromise the best things about yourself or your life. The right relationships will not force you into a cycle of low energy and vibration. In the Year of Letting Go, 365 Days Pursuing Emotional Freedom, poet R.H. Sin helps guide you through these all too familiar and heartfelt emotions along the journey to emotional freedom. Each day includes a positive affirmation or quote, along with additional insight and encouragement from R.H. Sin that will inspire you to put distance between yourself and everything that may be standing in the way of your inner peace. The perfect companion to your daily journaling, meditation, or prayer time. The year of letting go intends to help you find your way through the challenges of heartbreak and toxicity, one encouraging day at a time. So there's an introduction where he talks about why he wrote this. It's very short, just one page. And then you go into your writings and your readings. I would suggest if you buy this, read the introduction and the day one first. And then you can, from there, jump into whatever day you're on. So I'm filming this on, I don't know what day it is, but let's read March 19th since I have it marked here. I guess that must have been the last day I read. So March 19th says, you set yourself free by letting go of anyone who wants to leave. Remember this. A person who wants to remain in your life will not continuously do things that cause you to question the way they feel about you. And if the person you're with is forcing you closer to a tough decision of whether to stay or go, understand that this is truly a sign that you deserve more, and that the only way to get closer to that is to put distance between yourself and the person you believed who could love you. And then for March 20, it says heartache is the price we pay for taking the risk of trusting someone enough to fall for them. There's no real way to avoid heartbreak. Of course, you can learn all that you need to learn in an effort to decrease the chances of getting hurt or to reduce the scope in which you choose the wrong person. But ultimately, the journey that is finding the right person will be filled with misplaced love and trust. For many of us, the journey toward lasting love will be littered with love interests in the wrong places. But that's just the price you pay to travel home. And so, I mean, you could read that and then journal about how you're feeling today about heartbreak or searching for love or maybe the uncertainty of a relationship that you might be in. It doesn't necessarily, and I feel like a lot of this does feel like it's speaking towards romantic relationships. It says that you can use this for platonic relationships, and I think that you can. I don't think that these are always specifically for romantic relationships, but they are for close relationships, people that you truly care about, that you're trying to let go. Or set boundaries, with and things like that. So I think this is good. I've been keeping it, like I said, just kind of with my tools and pulling it out when I need it. I love that it's labeled with a date. So I've just been picking it up and reading whatever date I'm on that day. And if I miss them, I miss them. I'm just not worried about that. But I think that this is a really cool book to have around. So I wanted to mention that as well. So that's The Year of Letting Go. I will add, this is from Andrews McMeel Publishing. So I will definitely put the link in the description box below for Amazon. They've been having some great sales on Amazon recently. I'm not sure if this one is on sale, but I will put that link. And then also you can get that directly from their website as well. Along with, I have a full walkthrough of this one. I'm going to put it up here for you if you're interested. But this one was called the Heavenly Angel Oracle Deck. And the Angelology book is sort of I think this might have come out. I think this came out first. This one came out in 2021 in Italian and then published by Red Wheel in 2022 in English. And this, I want to say, came out also in 2023. Maybe, I don't know. They came out a little bit together, but this one first. And this, I remember getting this deck and thinking, I'll just show you some of them while I'm talking. I remember getting this deck and thinking it felt a little incomplete. Like there were some angels that I felt were missing. Like there are some guardian angels for certain weeks of the year in here, and some of them weren't in. Like my guardian angel for my week of the year when I was born wasn't in here. And then there were some angels that were associated with like Gemini or Pisces, and not all of them were in here. And I was like, where are the rest of the angels? Then I found this book on Red Will's website, and I was like, there they are. So here you have 224 angels in this book. So all of the ones that are missing from here, because this is only a 50 card deck, are in here. So if you're interested in seeing the rest of them, this is where you can find them. So let's just take a look. Here's the table of contents. You can see you've got history and legend and religion for the first 20 pages. The archangels are page 24 through 44. The rest of the angels are from age 26, I'm sorry, 68 to 284. And then there's a bibliography in the back, and there's a little bit of this angel is in numbers. I'm going to show you in just a moment. It tells you kind of a breakdown of how many of what kind of angel are in here. So we start with our introduction. We'll just go through. We start with our introduction, a note on the resources and where they got their information from, what angels are, the hierarchies, and the names of the angels. There are some fallen angels in here, which they're calling watcher angels, but these two parts are on the fallen angels, and there are, I want to say, 33 of them in this book. And then you've got guardian angels, angels of the moon, and then it goes right into the angels. So we start on the archangels chapter. You get a little introduction with some of a symbol legend, and then this is what the archangels look like. You get a two page spread with the beautiful, fun kind of superhero style artwork that you saw on the deck, with the different little sections like you saw in the guidebook. So it was like powers. So for Metatron, for instance, his powers are enlightened the mind and gives prophetic visions, right? So that's what he's known for. They call it powers in here because they're seen as superheroes. He's the right hand of God. The meaning of his name, it tells you where he comes from. So this is Christian and that's Judaism. So this is the archangel from both of those religions. And then it talks a little bit more about Metatron here, about his cube. And then it goes through all of the archangels and that archangels. There is one little section here for Uriel, because Uriel is the forgotten archangel, they call him. It talks a little about how he got demonized, Uriel. And then it goes into the rest of the angels here. So when you get to the angels, it goes through an alphabetical order and it gives you their powers, their picture, and then a little bit about where they've come from at the bottom here. So you can see what they're known for in the different traditions. So in Christianity, this one is a cherubim, a cherub, and the angel of biblical tetragrammation, I think is how we say that. In Judaism, he's on the list of guardian angels born to those born from May 6th through the 10th. That's what this little list is. You see this little eye, it tells you what the angel's classification is. This one is classified as a watcher angel or a fallen angel, or perhaps some people call them demons. So there are several of them in the book as well. And I'll just give you and it goes through all 200 of them in the same way, in alphabetical order, in that way. And here is the list of what you get. So you get 72 guardian angels. There's 11 archangels, 30 watcher angels or fallen angels. There's 11 healing angels, 28 angels of the moon, 17 planetary angels, 23 angels associated with natural phenomena, 72 angels of the biblical tetragrammation, and then 12 zodiac angels. And so those are the numbers. And there's your bibliography and your authors there. And that's the book. It's a hardbound book, nice paper, very thick kind of matte paper. So if you're interested in just having a little encyclopedia of angelology around, this is a fun, colorful option. This one is published by Red Wheel Publishing, and this is Heavenly Angel, the companion oracle deck, which was published by US Game Systems. I'll put links to both of them in the description box below. So those are the 3 books I wanted to share with you guys this month. Hope that was enjoyable. Definitely share your thoughts with me in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or share it with your friends. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I release videos every few days regarding tarot and oracle, and then once a month I do these book reflections. Links will be in the description box below where you can pick up anything you saw here today. And until I see you next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye-bye.